Cafe
No.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Welcome to our podcast today. My name is Mike, and I'm going to talk like this because it sounds very odd.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's episode 2404, 2404, 2404, 2404, 2220, no, 2404. That's how you say it. I'm not going to say it anymore. How are you doing today? That's good. All right. What else can we say? Yay. It's almost Friday. So today,
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I'm going to discuss something that affects a lot of you, including
Mike's
me sometimes.
Daily
And I have to tell you,
Podcast.
the quick and easy solution to back pain would be to take pain medicine. Makes the back pain go away. For the long term, lose weight. It's the gut, my friend. It's your gut. Believe me, I know it's my gut. When my gut got big, that's when I realized I've got back problems. Then you also want to do effective stomach exercises. Effective, helpful, not hurtful stomach exercises. And I don't know. I have not done the research completely, but I have been told, and I agree. Because I remember when I did a lot of sit-ups, turned out I was doing them incorrectly. And like the old style that they taught us back in PE is incorrect. And I was doing more damage than good, and my back was hurting. So that's something to consider. Something to remember in this crazy, crazy world we live. Oh, that's one of the songs you can listen to. In the player that I have one of the, what do you call them, on YouTube? The mix. You know how you can create a mix? I made a music mix called Obscure Rock. Best Obscure Rock. And that's one of the songs. It was by a group called Rock.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Not Rockwell, but Roachford. Rockwell. Wasn't that, I always feel like somebody's watching me. You know what? We'll just say yes, because that had Michael Jackson singing on the chorus, and the podcast picture is not of Michael Jackson or Rockwell. It is of the beautiful area. I went to Almanac Brewing a couple of weeks back. Saw my friend Kevin, who did the Addendum with Kevin section on my podcast a couple of years back. So I went to say hi to him. Went to see him, and we got caught up. The late, great Basil the Boxer knew Kevin really well. He once Sorry, Basil. Didn't mean to cough on you. Hold on. Delicious root beer here at Cafe Anyway. Somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. Yes, Kevin was eating something I believe that had chorizo in it. And a little piece flew out into the air, and Basil caught it midair. Because he was very stealthy like that and loved to be fed and loved to go to beer gardens. That's one of the few things in this life that nothing compares to, and that is going to a place that makes beer, that serves beer with a dog. If you bring a dog to a place like that, it is unbelievably wonderful, and I think truly is something Benjamin Franklin probably wrote a little quote about. But instead, I will quote Edie Brickell. Religion is a smile on a dog. Philosophy is the note on a Cheerios box. A cereal box, I believe, is what that was. Edie Brickell, this is the music section, everybody. We just jumped right into it, didn't we? Mike's Mind of Music. The Mike Mind of Music now brings you this. Edie Brickell married Paul Simon. Sit back for a second and think about that. Paul Simon wrote some amazing lyrics. Had a Grammy-winning album called Graceland. I believe Rhythm of the Saints after that also won a Grammy. But always fantastic lyrics. You can go back to the 70s, go back to his stuff with Art Garfunkel. Simon and Garfunkel did some great stuff. But he always had some interesting lyrics. Would turn a phrase, make something funny. I mean, his voice, he had a good singing voice. Probably better than mine, but a great singing voice. And he would get the job done and play the guitar and assemble these great bands. The album Graceland featured a lot of musicians from South Africa. And it was just, it had all kinds of influences. That's what was world music before we were calling it world music. It was wonderful. Okay, all that to say, Edie Brickell married him. At some point, they had a domestic dispute, a very loud argument that brought the police in. This was, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. But I don't know what the latest is with those two. But fascinating. Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians was the name of her band. And it had the song called What I Am. What I am is what I am, you what you are or what. But Edie Brickell also had another song. And I've been meaning to talk about this song quite a bit lately because I think it pertains a lot to a lot of us. And it's amazing the song was never a huge radio hit. What I Am was. What I Am went to the top 10. But the song I'm thinking of is Circle of Friends. Because I'm a part of your circle of friends. And we notice you don't come around. I guess it all depends on me touching something with the ground. I quit. I give up. Nothing ever seems good for anybody else. It seems. And it's so true. You can't ever satisfy everybody. So just give up. But it has a lot of truth in it. And being alone, that's what she says in the song, is the best place to be. When I'm by myself, it's the best place to be. When you're all alone, nobody has to say goodbye. I'm quoting lyrics from the one song, and all that deep, weird meaning going on from Edie Brickell. So there you go. Thank you, Edie. Late 80s. Interesting singer-songwriter. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that song, Circle of Friends, and how deep it was, how the meaning of that song really pertains to a lot of people today. A lot of us don't want to interact with other people, don't want to socialize, because being alone means nobody has to say goodbye. And just that all thing, because we're playing video games and just all to ourselves. But that's not the way to be. And you should have friends. And Circle of Friends was a wonderful Irish movie with newcomer Minnie Driver. And what was his name? The guy that went on to NCIS was the guy from Batman. He played Robin. And I always forget his name. Christopher something. Not Christopher Plummer. That was the other guy from Sound of Music. And he was in a bunch of movies up until his death fairly recently. Chris O'Donnell, thank you. I did not look that up, and nobody told me. I say thank you to my brain for letting me know. We're outside a cafe anyway. We're away from the people, but they're all inside having fun. And you should socialize. It's important. It's important to get. We're social beings. You can't be a hermit. Interestingly enough, Edie's husband, Paul, wrote a song, I Am a Rock, I Am an Island, with Art Garfunkel. And that's not the way to be either. Maybe that's how they bonded, was over that. But if you have back pain, chances are someone you know has back pain. You wake up with almost unbearable pain in your lower back. You make your way to the doctor with difficulty. You reach over outside and stuck in one of the branches outside a cafe anyway. Somewhere in Podcastro Valley, on one of the branches is your cheater glasses that you put on your face so that you can read the rest of what the sentence is. You make your way to the doctor only to be told there is no clear cause and you could do some stretches or wait it out. That's the only time I do stretches is when I have back pain. Gas pain, that's another story. In the U.S., low back pain is the most common cause of disability in young adults. That's according to the World Health Organization. For many patients, not knowing what to do about it compounds the agony. It's a complex condition. There's no one size fits all. Some of the data suggests it's only 10% of the patients who ever really understand or can figure out why they're in pain. Clinicians kind of throw up their hands. Figuring out individualized, effective, and non-addictive treatments for low back pain is the aim of University of California, San Francisco Core Center for Patient-Centric Mechanistic Phenotyping in Chronic Low Back Pain, otherwise known as REACH, UCSF REACH, which the center, the doctors who work there, they do research on this. For doctors, what causes low back pain and how best to treat it are topics of confusion and controversy. Some focus on psychosocial aspects, as when patients are so afraid of aggravating the pain that they limit their activity, weakening muscles, and that makes the problem worse. When you don't do activity, it actually makes the problem worse. Doctors look more for signs of physical injury. This new center, this UCSF REACH, will assemble researchers and practitioners of different medical backgrounds and persuasions who will delve into data using machine learning to discern patterns among thousands of back patients, followed by UCSF, seen either remotely or on site. As well as being a major cause of missed work, back pain is the second leading reason for opiate prescriptions. That's right. In fact, I know somebody that's what happened. He got hooked on what was it called? The Oxycontin. So that is the second leading reason for opiate prescriptions. And do you know what the first is? Cancer. Reducing need for opioids is another priority for researchers both at UCSF and nationwide, and the center may test methods such as combining virtual reality goggles or antidepressants with cognitive behavior therapy to address pain from the psychological angle. And that is all happening here in the Bay Area. Amazing advances in medical tech. And we applaud that. That's right here. And you know what? You can say all you want about big tech. You can say all you want about big medicine. If I combine the two, you might can say all you want about that. But look, they're doing some good things. And for your aching back, might be solved. The cure for that might be solved here in the Bay Area. Outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. The last place on earth. You can tell me what you think about anything. 336mm daily. 3 + 3 = 6. MM as in Mike Matthews. Daily as in what this podcast tries to be. I got interrupted yesterday. My lovely lady friend had a day off, and I wanted to spend it with her. We still have not found Radler. No Radler yet. It's looking less and less possible every day, but yeah. Unfortunately, that is something that we're dealing with here in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. And in general, and in the world of Mike Matthews. Outside a cafe anyway. Look who's here outside in our world at Cafe Anyway. Hello, Michael Matthews. It's Madame Rootabega, and I love having the back pain. Oh, that's interesting. You love to stretch? Yes. You love to have hot tea when your back is hurting? Yes. You love to dance? No. Oh. Yeah, I don't know if dancing's good for your back. There's unless you're dancing to Devo. You break your mama's back. You must whip it. Look who else is here. Hello, Dave Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant. And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, is very good that you're talking about this day, because everybody gets the back problem issues day.
Yeah, back issues. Do you know that? Thanks, guys. Yes, trying to find interesting things to talk about that might be helpful to everyone listening to Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcaster Valley, and FF episode 2404. Hey, if you would like to chime in, 336mm daily, 3 + 3 = 6mm, as in Mike Matthews Daily, as in what we have in the name. And I guess that pretty much wraps it up. Oh, by the way, that came from the magazine Marin, their health and wellness issue that actually came out in 2020, over 2 years now. And quite possibly they've done advances in understanding back pain and trying to make treatment opioid free. Let's hope that they have, and they continue to do good work. Thank you for listening. Look who else is doing good work. It's A-Frame, giving you some more reasons and ways to reach me.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!